Sometimes in life, friend, you just gotta ask yourself something. You feeling Loki? Punk? Where? Are ya? See what I did there? See what I did there? Anyways, the topic of today's video, as a matter of fact, is something that I've gotten a lot of banter about. A little chit chat from over here, a little comment from over there. People saying, "Hey, Godzillinator, who's gonna take the crown for ABX on Universal Villain Day?" And I didn't really have an answer. I had some suspicion, but I just didn't have a solid answer because I never went in and tested it myself. Well, fear not, my friend, because yesterday on No Restriction Day, I went in and I tested it. Now, it is silent season, right? We have 3 seasons. We have the Paralyzed, we have Burn, and we have Silence. And the thing is this, on this particular day, right, because Thanos and Dormammu, they're a thing of the past, right? No one's even thinking about them anymore. It's either Mr. Loki here, God of Mischief, or it's this scary man wielding the Necro sword called the King in Black, Mr. Knull. So it's out of these 2 guys. And yesterday I went ahead and I got a run. I ran for a little while. Okay, aside from my busy day and making a different video and all my dailies, I try to fit in time to actually go in and test this out just to get a good idea. Now I'm not gonna claim that either of these runs are absolutely perfect, but in the limited time that I had, I'm gonna play you the best run that I had with both of these characters here. And the thing is this, I think we found out and we realized last season, right? It was Burn season, and Knull doesn't have Burn, so it was Loki all day. It was Loki all day, and I had an energy on this guy up until like a couple days ago, and now he has a rage. The energy I could not make it work. He was scoring much less than Loki. Like, I tried over and over again up into the first roar and seeing if I can match his score, and I wasn't even getting close to it. But with rage, it's a little bit of a different story here. Now, I did an ABX video on this guy not too long ago, and I think I got a really good run, and that's a run that I put in the video. But I've been out of practice, right? I really haven't been playing with them really at all, outside of like a little bit of Danger Room Extreme and a little GBR. But I mean, he is really good for Knull. I'm just not using him because I can't use him on the stages that I'm playing, and he just doesn't quite have it for 35. He can get down to 30 bars pretty quickly, like quick enough to where I'd be able to take him out. But he struggles, for me anyways. At stage 35, he struggles a bit going from 30 to 0. Now I believe it's possible. I could totally do it, but it would just take more time than I'm actually willing to give to get, I don't know, a clear at a slightly higher stage than what I'm actually clearing right now. So there's that. So, and the other thing is this. So Knull and his kit, he has Silence and he has Paralyzed. So he could potentially be used for 2 seasons, right? We just really don't know yet. We haven't had him in the game, thus far to be able to experiment and test out, right? Loki, on the other hand, he actually has all 3. So Loki could be used for all 3 seasons. Now, I'm going to play these runs. Okay, I'll just tell you. So the run that I got recorded with Knull, I scored 8.95. In the run that I got with Loki, I scored 8.9. And it's a small increase, but I want you to watch the run with Knull, and I want to say that there's probably more left on the table in Knull's run than in Loki's run. But you seeing these runs, you can get an idea of where they sit. Now the question is going to be for you, because we know that energy is better for Knull, right? For pretty much any other game mode, I would say besides ABX. He's definitely a lot easier to play with a rage, but especially if you have some Pierce on your cards and you want to use them for World Boss Legend, that's really not going to be, it's not going to be, better to have rage on them. It's going to be better to have energy on them. Now, where that threshold is, like where the scales begin to balance, like in terms of how much Pierce you actually have in your cards, to how much decrease you're actually getting from a rage. I'm not exactly quite sure of that quite yet, but I would imagine the more pierce, the less valuable a rage becomes. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to show you the builds that I have on these characters now. If Knull would actually click here. Okay, that's not what I wanted. What is going on? Okay. Now the build I have on, I have a max out build on Knull. He's got a full stack. He's got a fully awakened ISO 8 set, and he has his rage on. All right, and all his stats, they're all capped. And for Loki, and he's also rocking 61,175 physical attack. Loki deals energy attack, and he's got 61,563. And he's got 16 Odin's blessings. Now I've mentioned this before that as long as you have all attack, Uru, and like Odin's blessings, I'm not exactly sure. Like, say if I gave him a full stack at this point, because all his other secondary stats are capped, how much of an increase in score he would actually get. I haven't done this testing yet, but this is something that I'll end up doing in the future. I can't imagine that it's actually all that much. I can't imagine that it is. All right. But he has 16. He's got a fully awakened ISO 8 set, and he also has a rage. He has a uniform, though. He has a uniform, and I believe all of his options are actually mythic, which they are. All right, now if we come and take a look over at my cards here, you'll notice that my cards actually do favor energy attack. So I have 141.8 energy attack, and then 127.5 physical attack. So you're looking at about 14%, favoring the physical attack, which is something to be said. It's definitely a little bit of an increase, that's for sure. All right, before I jump into these runs here, I'm gonna open these boxes. You know what? So I actually got my. So if we go to World Boss, I reached 50 in my Conqueror level, and if you look, the reward for 50 is a CTP chest. So let's go and let's see what CTP I got. Because what I like to do is I like to just acquire all, and I'm gonna open this stuff with you guys, and I want to be able to hit that button. So I want to get this done in this video. So let's go ahead and open these chests here. And I got some Shadowland chests in here too. 50 hidden tickets. That's not bad. I think I'm starting to run low on those things. Starting to run low. So you can't shake a stick at hidden tickets. You know what I'm saying? What do we get? Another greed. Man, I've been getting these greeds like left and right. It's food now. It's food for the sharks. Is that 10 million gold? Wow. Dude, I hate those cubes. They need to take those cubes out of there. I mean, you get so many cubes. Like, how many CTPs are you actually forging? I mean, seriously, give me a break. Give me a break with that stuff. Another 50 hidden tickets. I'll take it. How many more boxes do we got here? It's like all the fun stuff's done at this point. We already got Green Goblin. We get a Hulkbuster. Nice. I needed Hulkbuster bios, that's for sure. Yeah, okay, we got some EOD. Yeah, these cubes, they need to do away with those. Is that 10 million or is that 1 million? I don't know. I'm not even trying to count. I think it's 10. All those years they just meshed together, and it's got the worst roll here. So yeah, I don't know. That's gonna be food. Thing is this, in ABX, if you actually wanna place in, I don't know, let's say the top 10 or yeah, I'd say top 10 to 15, you basically need 2 brilliants now. You need 1 for Cable and you need 1 for Moonstone, and you should have those rolled with all attack. I only have 1 brilliant, and I mean I must have used, I don't know, maybe close to 100 CTPs trying to get a brilliant, and I got 1. So I stocked up. I got more energies, and I'm gonna be trying for some more rolls. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 4 more tries for a brilliant. The next double chance up on those. So let me get this run pulled up here. First off, we're gonna rock out with this Knull run here, and like I said, I'm not gonna claim that this is a perfect run by any means. I want to say it definitely has more room for improvement than my Loki run. That's just what I think right now. But the thing is this: when Universal Villain Day rolls back around, I'm going to try to schedule some time out in my day to make sure that I can get a very accurate depiction of what it's actually going to look like. And the other thing is this, I want to say that it's much easier to play Loki than it is Knull. I want to say you're going to have to devote more time to your Knull run than you will your Loki run just to get a good score, to score at his higher potential, if you get what I'm saying. It's just more difficult with the procs, and you just need more. You need to be a little more skilled to actually play them properly and have everything work out right for you. So you can take that into consideration as well. So here we go. Here is the run. And there's something else I actually want to experiment with, is possibly canceling 5 when he just strikes a sword down. I think I might have do that like once or twice throughout the run. It might have only been like one time, just to fit the 2 in the proc for a little bit longer. But yeah, I definitely want to say that the initial ABX video I made with Knull, I want to say that's probably a better run than this one here. But I don't know, it's not a bad run, getting almost 9 million with him. And to be completely honest, I'm not actually sure if this is going to be the best team up for him. Like I said, this was kind of on some limited borrowed time, and I was just, I wanted to get something. I just wanted to get something recorded because I've had a lot of people asking me for it. And yeah, the cancel is on his 3 skill, so you gotta be mindful to have that available, because it's got a long cooldown on it. So you don't want to hit that too close to the roar, otherwise you're gonna be SOL, friend. So his rotation is gonna depend on when you hit the tier 3 and when you hit the, depending on what rotation you're going into, if it's going to be the 4-5-2 or the 4-5 tier 3, even when you have the tier 3 ready, is going to depend on where the proc actually is. So I think that actually worked out for me to get a little bit higher of a score, him going into the roar a little bit later there. I think that was it for sure. And I think I let the 3 play out a little bit there just so I can get the, I can use the tier 3 on that rotation. So things kind of lined up a little bit better. I mean, he's not that hard to play. It's just sometimes it just gets messy. It gets real messy. Yeah, like I said, something else I want to experiment with is possibly canceling the 5 just when he spikes his sword down to get the 2 in the proc for longer. I'm not quite sure yet though. So yeah, I had to use the 3, and he's got a slash. He's got a slash. You can't instant cancel that, otherwise it won't actually cancel the roar. Yeah, I feel like for the up into the first roar, things go a little bit smoother, and then once you get, I don't know, it's as the run progresses, things just kind of get messy. But that worked out really nice at the very end there, I'll tell you that much. So there's that 8.95 with Mr. Knull, the King in Black. Now let's pull up this Loki run here. You already know, man, the Sneaky Bandit's got to pop up in here and do his thing at least one time in the video. So one thing I think I failed to mention was about the rotations for each of these characters. The main purpose of this video was just to show you, how these characters compare and whether or not you should focus building one up for ABX or not, right? If you want to have Knull for ABX because he's going to outscore Loki so much for at least for Silence in Paralyzed season. That doesn't really seem to be the case, but I'm not going to go into depth on the rotations. I already made a separate video for Knull not too long ago. So if you want like his rotation for ABX, you can check that video out. For Loki, on the other hand, I did make a video on that, but I've learned a better rotation with him. You can notice it in the video. I'm not gonna try to explain it. I think I'll be making another video on him as soon as that day comes. So you can keep an eye out for that to get an in-depth explanation on his rotation. But it's really not that hard. It's really not that hard. You can just pay attention on what I'm doing in the video and then just just mimic that. So in any case, back to your broadcasting. All right, here we go. The God of Mischief. Let's see what this man is all about here. Yeah, there was a wide variance in his score, actually. Like a wide variance. And a lot of it, I think, just depends on, like, okay, there's that buff on his 5th skill, and you want that definitely to pass to the tier 3, but I think a lot of it depends on, like, if the end of the tier 3 is active, like right there, if it's reactivating the proc, like you're getting that there's like a burst of damage right there. I'm pretty sure that's what's making at least some of the difference, at least a good bit of the difference for some of the runs. And the silence, mind you, is on his tier 3, so it's not like Burn where you had, I don't know, he's got it on his 5th and his 2nd skill. I'm not sure if he has that on his tier 3. But I noticed, because this was the first time that I actually played with him for silence, and I noticed that that there's a couple different ways that you could go about actually just playing, like with dealing with the roars, because it got very tight. Like if I didn't hold the tier 3 other than the first roar, it gets really tight for the 2nd roar. Is something that I noticed, that I almost, like, there's a couple runs where they were going swimmingly, and I missed it because I was just a split second late on the cancel. So like you see, like this is tight. I need that 5 to come back off cooldown before he goes in that roar. So if he went to do the roar like he usually does, I wouldn't have been able to get it. So that's one thing to keep in mind, and I think that's going to make a large difference on your score at the end of the day with Loki. But yeah, having that tier 3 reactivate that proc. Now I know it seems like that you're not actually going to have like enough, like you're not going to be able to fit the whole rotation inside the proc, but you do, because like you get through it really quickly. Right, and like most of the time you're actually just, you're running around, you're waiting for 5 to come back off cooldown. But from the last video, I switched some things up with his rotation. So yeah, right here, I save his tier 3. That's definitely something that you want to do, right, for this one, depending on how close you are to it. So I don't know where the proc is, but here it finally comes. It came a little late. I'd say some more points were left on the table just based on that right there. But I think all in all, this is a really good score for Loki, with this particular team up. But yeah, we got a little off proc, right? It's definitely off proc just a little bit. And I think we're able to, squeeze one more in. Tier 3, bust it down. Yeah, I mean, we got a little something in there. But, I mean, 8.9. 8.9. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. Especially, competing with Knull, right? You have an 800 CCF character, which, I mean, let's be honest. He doesn't have many uses outside of this. Like, he could do some Danger Room Extreme, he could do some GBR, but there's many characters that could do it better, especially like, playing Knull. I don't think he's that good for Knull. I mean, the thing is, on my account, having Pierce on cards and he has a Rage, that's definitely docking him some points there. But, if you're trying to, collect, if you're trying to hit that max score in ABX, you want to hit that 7 million just to get those rewards, on a continuous basis, Loki's not a bad investment for that. And he's really fun to play. Like, he's smashing to play. Yeah, he's fun. He's a fun character. So I think that's it. I think that's all I got for you guys today. I hope this answers some of your questions about these two. I know this has been something that I've been wondering, quite a bit. And, like I said, all in all, conclusion on this is Loki's very easy to play. There can be a variance in his score, so you might have to run it a few times just for things to line up properly. But to be honest, I spent much less time running with Loki than I did with Knull. One of the reasons is because I played Loki for the last round of ABX and not so much Knull. So I just need to get more reps in with him. Knull he's definitely, I'll say you'll be running more with Knull to get it right than you will with Loki. I'll tell you that much right now. Obviously he requires much more of an investment than Loki does, just because he's this native tier 3 and yeah. But you might not just build him up for that. So Knull has other uses besides ABX, but are you going to want to put an energy or a rage on him, right? Do you want him to be more useful in other game modes, or do you want his sole focus to be ABX? When I do this test, when Universal Villain Day rolls around and I can get an absolute proper testing, and if it's coming up the same, if it's only that small increase, I'm gonna put a PvP build on Knull, because I think he can, well, for one, be a real threat in AC, and two, I think he could be pretty good for like timeline and just other PvP content. But I think that's all that really needs to be said for today. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this helps you out. I just hope that it answers some of your questions, because like I said, a lot of people have been asking me about this. So in any case, friends, I got more stuff on the docket, so you better stay tuned, you stay breezy, but most of all, friend, you stay safe out there. Peace.